Hello, everyone. My name is Jess Schwade, and I am the grant writer and administrator with Asian Women's Shelter. And today I'm going to do a presentation as part of the AWS Life Skills workshops. So today I'm going to be presenting about workplace safety. This is including HR, OSHA, and knowing your rights. If you don't know what HR, OSHA, or workplace rights are, then you're in the right place. And hopefully by the end of this, you will have a better understanding of what they are and what your rights are when you're in the workplace. And finally, some other workplace rights that you should be aware of if you're working in California. So we talked about HR, so that's the human resources person who, you know, helps onboard and kind of manages all the people and the workplace itself. Then there's OSHA, which maintains the health and safety standards of the workplace to make sure that you stay safe and healthy while working there. And then there's other workplace rights that exist. These are California specific, and it is required that your workplace every year provides you with clear information about your rights in the workplace. So this can be usually they will post notices on the wall. This could be in kind of the break room, it could be in the bathroom. It has to be somewhere where you go regularly and everyone goes and where you can see it. So all your rights will be posted on the wall. And then there also should be some sort of annual training or information given to you every year about what your rights are. This is not a comprehensive list of all the rights in California, but these are some of the most important ones that I wanted to bring up. So similar to what I mentioned about OSHA and the complaints you can make there, in California, you are protected that you can speak up about anything happening in your workplace without any punishment. So you can't be discriminated against or fired or anything like that for speaking up about something that's unsafe in the workplace or something that's making kind of an difficult workplace. Um, some kind of new laws are specifically about immigration and protecting people from immigration raids and those sorts of things. So right now, you are protected against unfair immigration practices, and you have to be notified if any sort of immigration officials are coming to your workplace to do any sort of inspection. So this prevents your workplace from, coordinating with ICE or anyone else and having them, come surprise to your workplace. They're not allowed to do that. So they have to notify you if anyone from any sort of immigration or police department is coming to do any sort of immigration inspection. Um, it is your right to have an emergency contact, and this is specifically in the case of an arrest or detainment at work. So if you're at work and someone comes and for some reason you are arrested or detained, you should have an emergency contact on file, and your workplace is required to notify that emergency contact that you have been arrested or detained. It is your right to join or organize a union without any fear of retaliation. So if you join the union, the workplace cannot say, oh, because you joined the union, we're going to fire you. That's illegal. That's a workplace violation. So if you join a workplace and they already have a union and you want to join that union. It is your right. Um, it is also your right in California that the workplace provides medical care and workers' compensation benefits. So medical care is what I talked about before in the HR section, where if when you onboard, the HR person will talk to you about benefits, and medical insurance is one of them. Another thing that I didn't talk about is worker compensation benefits. So this is if you are injured in the workplace. So that relates to OSHA. So say you do, or it could just be a general, you know, freak accident. But if you're at work and you get injured doing something related to work, then your workplace should have something called workers' comp. And you tell your HR professional, hey, I was injured on the job, and because of this injury, I have to take time off from my job. And the workers' comp benefits continue to pay you at least a percentage of your salary while you have to take that time off to heal from the injury you got at work. So it is your right to have those workers' comp benefits. Um, and finally, you have under, California law, you have the constitutional protections regardless of immigration status. So this means, you have a right to a lawyer, you can plead the fifth, you have protections against unlawful search and seizure, and it doesn't matter whether you're a citizen or whether you have some sort of other status in the country, you get those protections under the Constitution. So that's an overview of all your workplace rights from HR to OSHA to general workers' rights under California labor law. So finally, what do you do if you think your rights have been violated? So like I said, if there's an issue or conflict between you and someone else at work, whether your supervisor or coworker, etc., then you probably want to talk. The first thing you want to do is probably talk to HR. If you think there's a safety or health hazard at work that is not being addressed, you can file, a confidential complaint to OSHA for them to come and do an inspection. There's also some other contacts that you can reach out to, such as the California Civil Rights Department, if you think your civil rights are being violated. There's also many nonprofit legal and social services organizations who support people who have workplace issues or think they have their rights violated at work. Um, and the most important thing, if you think your rights are being violated, is to document everything. So if you have a phone call with your supervisor where they, maybe say something discriminatory to you, it's important that you then send an email to HR and say, hey, I just had, a phone call with this person and they said this. Um, So any sort of thing where if there's emails that go back and forth, you should keep those emails. You can download them. Um, and if you discuss something on the phone with someone, it's always good to follow up and either send a text or email and say, hey, thanks for chatting on the phone with me today. Just want to summarize what we chatted about. We talked about, my hours, how you're going to give me a raise, and how you're going to give me 24 hours notice before asking me to come in. Um, and then send that. And that helps if there's any sort of dispute or complaint that you file at the later date, to make sure that there's a trail showing, like, hey, this has been ongoing for a long time, and I know my rights, and these are violating my rights. So definitely pause here and take down some of the phone numbers and you can't click on the links right here, but definitely type those in to know, Chrome or whatever, and check out those resources um, in case you need anything. Um, And that's it from me. So thank you for watching. Hopefully, you now know what HR, OSHA, and workplace rights are. And if you have follow-up questions, reach out to your AWS advocate and they can put you in touch with me. And maybe we can have a future training as well. So thanks for watching.